plug for him. But no, folks, it's not Warren Buffett. It's Warren Buffett, the legendary investor. Mr. Buffett, how are you today?
I don't know this show very well, but I think it's going to be, I have a hunch it's going to be good.
Well, that's that famous Buffett hunch that's made you riches beyond compare, right?
Well, everybody gets hunches now and then, especially Nebraska corn shuckers.
And there's that
uh,
folksy humor. I mean, you've got it all in spades.
well, buckle up. It's going to get folksy. I'm just a simple man. I'm trying to have a good one. Have a regular one here. I haven't had a good one in a couple of weeks.
Well, because I mean, famously, you eat a steak lunch every day, right? So I mean, that has to contribute something to it.
I have a steak for lunch, and I have a fried egg, so I do get my vegetables.
You're one of the richest men in the world, but you're so down to earth, and you keep it simple. How do you do that? I mean, if I had as much money as you did, I would get the biggest horse I could find, set it on fire, and let it run through a museum.
Well, I don't. Horse racing isn't an interest of mine, and horses don't make anything. They don't even make sense. That's why I buy Chinese people because they can't stop making things. I keep it simple. You're right. I look at things simply and clearly. If a business is making something that people will still use in 20 years, I buy it. Useful things like Coca-Cola.
Nobody likes Coca-Cola more than you do. Is that right?
I'm just sensible, and I'm down to earth. I'm sensible. I see things clearly. I look at things simply, and it drives my wife crazy. I said to her, I said, "Honey, do you want a cheese sandwich the other day?" And she practically screamed at me. She said, "We could be in Paris right now. We could be in Paris eating lunch right now, and you're offering me a cheese sandwich." I said, "All right." And I saw that look in her eye, and I thought, sometimes you just know when someone needs to let off some steam. So I handed my wife a briefcase full of money, and she bought a whole house just so she could fill it with door handles. She put door handles on everything, even the chairs.
What? Why?
But anyway, investing is easy. Getting rich is easy. And it's never been easier to get rich these days. Everything's getting better. As a matter of fact, medicine, sports, entertainment. There's less disease now. Here's a statistic for it. If you put all the millionaires standing on each other, you'd have a tower of rich people that could stretch to the sun.
Wow. But
That's how many rich people there are in the world.
there's so many people at the same time, Mr. Buffett. There's so many people struggling. Inflation is hitting the working man really hard, and people have to work more than one job. You
Yeah,
know,
but did you know that the bottom 2% of our society are richer than the bottom 50 100 years ago? And everyone has a TV in their pocket with their smartphones and so on. And I can stay in my home and watch movies all day instead of going downtown to a mostly Irish neighborhood to watch 7 movies for a nickel 80 years ago. You couldn't choose the movie, and you left the theater smelling like cabbage and cigarettes. In Johnny Rockefeller's day, you didn't have Novocaine. Now the laughing pills are available on every street corner. The young men are employed, and no one's looking to slit your throat and bury you in the desert.
oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess there's a lot to be thankful for. What What do you say to people who want to get started in investing?
Look, if I don't buy stocks, I buy businesses. So as soon as you have $10,000, go buy a farm and the farmer and his family, and employ them on your own farm for minimum wage. The average family-run farm makes 70,000 a year. Now all you have to do is make sure the equipment's running, and you hire a midwife to help with the birthing. After that, I would invest in Coke. What am I drinking, you ask? Why, it's plain old Coke, and it'll be around forever, just like Juicy Fruit and Pepto Bismol. Mmm, Pepto.
Let's talk about your philanthropy. Famously, you teamed up with another farm owner, Bill Gates. And what's your guys'
Bill
vision?
Bill bought all that farmland out there, and I said, "What are you going to do with it?" He said, "Where else am I going to find enough space to make the real life version of the Hunger Games?" Speaking of Hunger Games, farms are a great investment. Everyone loves squash.
So, okay, but what's your guys' vision for America and for the future? When you guys get together and you talk about making the world a better place, presumably, well, what are you talking about?
Well, when you're this rich, you got to play the shell game of hide your money from the government. So we put them in these foundations and so forth. I mean, I really like helping people, and that's what it's about. It's about giving back. And so we started a fund to help tourists get to the top of Mount Fuji faster. And through the money I donated, especially, we also have decent toilets on Machu Picchu.
So you're helping people see the world.
I'm just a bumpkin, from Oklahoma or Nebraska or, you know, pick a town. I don't know, but who just happened? I just happened to read every investment book ever written before 1967, and now, I'm so rich I can shower in San Diego, shave in St. Louis, and shit in Sweden, God willing.
The wisdom of the can-do generation. Always an honor and a privilege, Mr. Buffett. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
My pleasure. And I hear the rumblings of Pompeii beneath my belt. I got to get to the private jet to Sweden.